Welcome back to The Human Layer. My name is Mike Robin. Thanks so much for tuning in. Appreciate you checking out the series. Hopefully it's been bringing some value to you and your work life. And here we are at episode number 10. Feels like a milestone. I wanted to kind of bring together a lot of what we've been talking about in the first 9 videos in the series. So today I want to talk about the trust withdrawal. Trust in a client, or any relationship really, works exactly like a bank account. Every interaction is a transaction. The challenge is most teams only check the balance when something goes wrong. And by then, it's very possible we've been overdrawn in that account for a while. Has a client, or any relationship for that matter, ever ended or started going sideways? And when you really look back at it, you couldn't point to one single thing that broke it. No missed deadline, no major failure, no blow up. It just kind of drifted. And now they're distant or guarded or gone. That's not bad luck. That's usually a pattern that's been running quietly in the background for a long time. Let's talk about it. I think about client trust like a bank account. Every single interaction makes a deposit or a withdrawal. A proactive update, deposit. Showing up prepared, deposit. Delivering early, big deposit. But a slow response, a meeting that starts late, a deliverable that landed without any context, an update they had to ask for, those are withdrawals. Small ones maybe, but withdrawals. And here's the part that catches most teams off guard. Nobody's really notifying you when the balance gets low. There's no overdraft alert, no warning email or text. The client doesn't, or rarely ever would, schedule a meeting called, "I'm starting to lose confidence in you." They're just getting quieter. And you mistake that quiet for calm. The tricky thing about trust withdrawals is that almost none of them feel significant in the moment. We're not talking about dropped balls or missed SLAs. Those are obvious ones. I'm talking about the small stuff that never makes it into the retrospective or the look back or review, root cause analysis, however you name it. The update that only came after someone had to ask, or even worse, ask multiple times. The reply that took a day or two longer than it should have. A status call that felt like a formality rather than a real conversation. The deliverable that was technically correct but landed with no explanation. The question they asked that got that short, one-word or few-word answer, when what they really were asking for was some reassurance. None of those are really fireable offenses, if you will. None of them show up in the metrics or the data. But our clients, or the person or the people on the other side of the relationship or partnership, logged every single one. Not consciously, maybe, but emotionally, absolutely. And when we string enough of those together, we don't have a relationship problem, we've got a math problem. And the math is not working in our favor. Here's what makes this so hard. On the delivery team side, everything looks fine. The work is on track, no one's really complained, the client or the other person is still responding, so the team reads that as trust. We're measuring the absence of fire, calling it the presence of trust. And those are not the same thing. Meanwhile, on the client side, something has shifted. They're now CCing their manager or director on emails. They didn't used to do that. They're asking questions they already know the answers to. They're testing us. They're revisiting decisions that were already made. They've lost confidence in the process. They've gone from sounds great to okay, one word, that's it. These aren't personality quirks. These are receipts. The client is showing us the balance, but only if we know what to look for. And the heartbreaking part is the delivery team's usually working hard in the background. We genuinely believe things are going well. Two people can both be telling the truth about the same broken relationship. I want to be clear about something though. Trust withdrawals are almost never intentional. The team isn't being negligent, not being careless. We're doing the work. But here's the hard truth. The impact of an unintentional withdrawal is identical to an intentional one. The client's account doesn't know the difference. Good intentions don't automatically translate into felt confidence. That gap between what we meant and what they experienced, that's where the trust gets lost. And it gets lost quietly. So here's the reframe I want us to sit with. Stop asking, is there a problem? And start asking, what's the balance right now? because by the time there's a stated problem, the account has already been overdrawn for a while, most likely. The complaint isn't the beginning of the issue. It's the moment they finally decide to bring it up. And a lot of clients never even do that. They just quietly decide something different when it's time to renew. Start looking for the signals before the statement. Start making small, consistent deposits, not because there's a crisis, but because that's what keeps us out of one. A proactive update, a moment of genuine curiosity about how they're doing, follow up on something they mentioned 2 weeks ago, explaining not just what you delivered, but why it matters. Those aren't extras. Those are deposits that fund the account we will need to draw on when something goes wrong. Here's the question I want you to take into your next client interaction. Not, are we doing the work, but what does the balance look like right now? Because those are two very different questions. And the teams that learn to ask the second one regularly before they have to, those are the teams that build relationships that actually last. This is the human layer. I'll see you on the next one.